Chapter 1. The Art of Perception. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Learn to read the signs. Everything that happens is familiar. Everything that happens is natural." And in today's world, where people wear masks more subtle than any ancient disguise, learning to read the signs has never been more important. Ethan had spent years practicing Stoicism. Not the watered-down version taught by self-help influencers, but the raw, internalized discipline of the soul. To see clearly, to judge nothing, to accept what is. That's what brought him to the present moment, sitting across from a woman he had known for 3 months. Her name was Lila. She was beautiful, intelligent, and mysterious in the way oceans seem calm until you realize how deep they run. Something had shifted, not overtly, but subtly. Ethan wasn't jealous. He wasn't controlling. But he believed in clarity, in understanding people not for power, but for peace. And today, her energy was off. Not wrong, not worse, just different. The Stoics taught that one must become a student of human nature. And when it came to women, Ethan had learned their bodies might lie still, but their energy never did. Chapter 2. The Shift in Silence. She spoke, but her silence said more. That morning, her replies were shorter. Her smile was delayed, as though filtered through layers of thought. Normally, her laughter flowed like spring water, natural and full, but today it was calculated, edited. Ethan listened, not just to her words, but to her tone, her pauses, her breath. He didn't interrogate. That would have violated the Stoic principle of self-containment. Instead, he observed, with no demand, no expectation. The first subtle sign was the emotional distance. She was present, but her soul was elsewhere, and he knew from experience it was a sign most men missed, because they were too busy trying to impress, to entertain, to seduce. But Ethan had nothing to prove. He had only to see clearly. Chapter 3. Touch that recoils during lunch. He reached for her hand as they sat on the park bench. She gave it, yes, but reluctantly. The delay, less than a second, was enough to reveal everything. Her fingers were cooler than usual. Her grip lighter. It wasn't disgust. It wasn't rejection. It was detachment. She had been touched recently, and now she was aware of the contrast. Ethan didn't judge her. In fact, he felt compassion. But still, the Stoic in him whispered, "Accept what you see. Don't ignore the signals because they make you uncomfortable." Men often want women to be their everything. But Stoicism teaches, don't cling to anyone as if they are permanent. That includes the woman you desire. Chapter 4. The gaze that flickers. Later that evening, he caught her staring not at him, but through him. A woman who had been recently intimate often carries the echo of that moment in her eyes. Not always visible, but if you've learned to recognize it, it's as clear as a fingerprint. Her eyes were soft, dreamy. Not in love, but in memory. As if she was replaying something. Or someone. Ethan leaned back. He smiled gently. He didn't accuse. He didn't confront. He simply existed, aware. Because the man who needs proof to trust his intuition has already betrayed himself. The Stoic doesn't cling to certainty. He acknowledges probability and acts in accordance with reality, not fantasy. Chapter 5. Scent and Stillness. When she hugged him goodbye, Ethan noticed another detail. Her perfume wasn't as strong as usual. It had been washed off deliberately, and underneath it, faint, traces of a man's cologne lingered, not overtly, but enough for a seasoned observer to notice. But more than that, it was her stillness. The way she didn't crave closeness that evening. When a woman has been physically fulfilled recently, there is often a temporary emotional satiation, a kind of energetic fullness. She doesn't seek connection in the same way, not immediately. Ethan, again, did not flinch. He inhaled, exhaled, and remembered the words of Epictetus. It is not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of their meaning. He chose not to label her. He chose to see her as she was, not as he wanted her to be. That is love without attachment. That is perception without distortion. Chapter 6. The truth between the lines that night. She texted him a simple, "Today was nice. Thank you." No kiss emoji. No warmth. No affection. A woman doesn't need to lie to speak dishonestly. The truth is often buried between the lines. Ethan smiled at the message and put down his phone. He didn't spiral. He didn't chase. He didn't replay the evening looking for faults. He simply acknowledged, the energy between us has shifted. And that is neither good nor bad, it simply is. A woman's body may lie in your bed, but her soul could be dreaming elsewhere. And if you're not in tune with her energy, you'll be the last to know. Chapter 7. When you know, let go. The next morning, he made her coffee. She arrived at his apartment with that same calm, but Ethan had already made peace. "You've been somewhere else lately," he said. She looked surprised, but not because it wasn't true, only because he saw it so clearly. She hesitated, then nodded. "I wasn't sure if you noticed." He didn't ask for details. He didn't need to. Her energy had told the story long before her words arrived. Ethan smiled, not bitterly, not with resentment, but with stillness. "Just be honest with yourself, not with me. I'll accept whatever truth you carry." She lowered her eyes. And for the first time in days, she really saw him. That's the paradox. When a man detaches, he becomes visible. Chapter 8. The inner fortress. After she left, Ethan sat by the window, watching the sunlight drip through the curtains. He was not angry. He did not feel betrayed. He did not feel victorious either. He just felt anchored. Because he had seen the signs. He had trusted his inner compass. And he had let go gracefully. Most men either possess too much ego or too little self-worth to do that. But Stoicism teaches a man's peace is not determined by others, but by the fortress he builds within. Ethan had learned the subtle signs. Emotional detachment, avoidance of touch, eyes that recall memory, energy that is full but distant, absence of affection, forced warmth, lingering guilt. He learned them not to control women, but to remain in control of himself. Chapter 9. 2. Observe without owning. Weeks passed. Ethan didn't reach out. He focused on his work, his practices, his peace. And one afternoon, she texted him, "I've been thinking about you. You saw through me in a way no one ever has." I wasn't ready for that. He smiled. This wasn't about pride. It was about clarity. He replied, "It's okay. Most people aren't ready to be seen without a mask. But I'll always choose truth over fantasy." She didn't respond for hours. And when she did, it was just one word, thank you. Chapter 10. Final Reflections. As he journaled that night, Ethan wrote a line inspired by the Stoics. A man who reads energy never needs to ask questions. A man who accepts reality never needs to chase truth. Women are not puzzles to solve, nor are they property to control. They are human beings, flawed, emotional, sacred, unpredictable. And the truly masculine man is not the one who conquers her body, but the one who respects her freedom, even when that freedom costs him his pride. Because the ultimate strength is not in holding on, but in letting go without bitterness. Ethan closed his journal. The signs had spoken, and he had listened, not to judge, but to understand. And that made all the difference. Reflection. Stoic message. In life and love, clarity is power, but only when it is paired with acceptance. The Stoic man does not need control, he needs truth. And when he sees it, he does not fight it. He integrates it into his character, adds it to his experience, and walks forward, with his integrity intact and his emotions disciplined. Because the goal is not to win her back, it is to never lose yourself.